very, very exciting and important guest. Our guest this morning seems to, when she's not in Washington, D.C., be living in an aeroplane. And I'm not joking. You know how many miles she's clocked up since she took over as Secretary of State in 2009? Any guesses, guys? I bet you can't guess. More than 700,000 miles. I actually think somebody there got it almost right. That worked out. Was that somebody on the staff? That's cheating, right? That's cheating, guys. All right, more than 700,000 miles, 95 countries, works out to about 25 trips around the globe. And yet not once does she show signs of any flagging energy. In fact, as she arrives in India, making Kolkata her first stop, she's just completed two very important visits to two other countries. China first, then Bangladesh, and now, of course, here in India as an old friend. She is one of the most influential women anywhere in the world, and in fact, a Gallup poll in the United States of America has consistently called her the most admired woman in the United States of America for more than a decade. And I know how excited we are as Indians to welcome her to our country today, and of course the people of Kolkata to welcome her to her first stop in India, which is Kolkata. We're going to be having a very exciting conversation this morning, and it is my privilege and honor to welcome to India and to the stage Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. Let's have a huge round of applause. Welcome. It's so good to see you. It's so good to see you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. It is so wonderful to be here with all of you, and I want to thank Barkadat for agreeing to moderate our discussion, and everyone at NDTV and at La Martiniere. This is very exciting for me to have this chance to be back in this vibrant city after a number of years. I was last here in 1997, honoring the life and work of Mother Teresa. And I am thrilled to see all of the dynamism and how much both Calcutta and West Bengal have thrived. So here we are in the economic and innovation hub of Eastern India. And I just want to make a few comments before we have a chance for a conversation. I wanted to do this because certainly for me, the work that I do every single day, the miles that I fly, are about trying to see what all of us together can be doing to bring peace and prosperity to the world, because most of the world's population are young people. That's true in India, but it's true in most places in the East and particularly in Asia and South and East Asia. So it's truly about what you want for your futures. And the relationship between our two great democracies is one that is going to help determine the kind of future that we have. As President Obama told the Indian Parliament, the relationship between India and the United States will be one of those defining partnerships of the 21st century. Why? Because we are united by bedrock beliefs about freedom, democracy, pluralism, and opportunity. And also, our economies are increasingly interdependent. When I first visited India in 1995, trade between our countries was about $9 billion. Well, today it's more than $100 billion. And that makes a difference in the lives of people in both countries. I was talking with some friends here last night, and they were referencing the jobs and opportunities created by the Pepsi Frito-Lay plant here, and how it's not only for the people who work in the plant, but for all the farmers whose incomes are going up because they have guaranteed contracts for their products. So there's a lot of progress, but we always think that more can be made to reduce barriers, open markets to greater trade and investment. Economic reforms from manufacturing to retail can spark growth, create jobs, and lower prices for consumers in both countries. Increasingly also, our strategic interests are aligned. India is a regional and increasingly global power recognized with its economic, diplomatic, and military influence. And India is taking on more responsibilities, which is good news because the international community cannot solve our shared problems, such as nuclear proliferation or climate change, unless we are all working together and unless the leading countries are taking the steps necessary for solutions. I think here in Calcutta, you've always been at the forefront of India's engagement with the world. I know this city is sometimes called the gateway to the East, and increasingly, India's Look East policy will be essential for the growth of India, but even more importantly, for the entire integration of the Asia-Pacific region. I've just come from Bangladesh, where there is great hope and excitement about increasing trade and economic opportunities with India, with Burma, with the markets of Southeast Asia. I think because of India's democracy, India stands in a strong position to help the people of Burma as they navigate their way forward, both with economic and political reforms. Prior to that, I was in China, where we are building a constructive relationship, not only bilaterally, but among our three countries. In fact, the trilateral consultation between China, India, and the United States will be essential for us in the future as well. But really, the heart of our relationship is the people-to-people relationship. The thousands and thousands of visits every year, the incredible contributions of Indian Americans in my country in every walk of life, increasingly in the political realm. And I checked the statistics. In 2011, 35% of all the L1 work visas that the United States issued in the entire world were issued to Indians. And between 2010 and 2011, we saw an increase in 24% in H-1B work visas. And more than 100,000 Indian students are currently studying in the United States. So there are so many links between us, and we want to promote even more between the young people of our two countries. I think it's appropriate to quote from Tagore, where people always quote from Tagore in not only West Bengal, but in many other places as well. I discovered him when I was in college and have been a fan ever since. And one of the quotes that I liked when I was your age, and I like now that I'm my age, is "Age considers, youth ventures." So since India is home to more than 400 million young people, a remarkable generation, innovative, entrepreneurial, tolerant, connected to each other, we're hoping you will venture, that you will venture on behalf of not only your own futures, but the future of this great country, and that you'll venture to make the partnership between the United States and India stronger. Under my direction, we are starting youth councils in all of our embassies and our consulates around the world. Here in Calcutta, we have a particularly active group, and we would love to have even more people involved. So with that, I'm looking forward to the conversation, and I think it's fair to say that I have probably been asked nearly everything in my long life and public life. So just please feel free with Barka's lead to have a real conversation for the time we're together. Thank you all.
Thank you. Do you need help with the
No,
mic?
I can do it.
Yeah, okay. All right, just before we get the ball rolling, we'll just get the podium off stage, we'll get the secretary all mic'd up. But it was interesting to hear her say that she's probably been asked every question that's possible. So are we going to surprise her today? We are, right? She's going to walk away with some questions that she's never been asked before.
I should have never What a challenge. This is a woman who loves a challenge.
Secretary Clinton, thank you so much for your remarks and welcome to India and to Kolkata once again. And before we set the ball rolling today, I've got to share with you something that somebody from this state actually characterized us Indians as. Economist and Nobel laureate Amartya Sen. He said that there's one definition that fits Indians, and that is argumentative Indians. And Indians are argumentative, but my God, Bengalis are very argumentative and very opinionated, right? So I hope you're ready for the questions and the volleys that are coming your way. But before we start the conversation this morning, I want to draw your attention, the attention of our audience here, and the attention of our viewers to something that we forget. Even though you have had a long relationship with India, now 17 years, sometimes we forget that it was not, in fact, your husband, Bill Clinton, as president, who came to India first, but you as First Lady. And I'm going to show you a picture, and the audience can see it on their screens, and that's you in 1995 with Chelsea in front of the Taj Mahal. An extraordinary picture there. Chelsea was just 15 then, just a 15-year-old kid with her mom at the Taj Mahal. And you've always reached out not just to politicians but to civil society groups. There you are in 95 with Ela Bhatt, the founder of Seva. On that trip, you learned how to tie and dye. I've got to ask you how often you did that after you left. Tie and dye some block printing. That was Secretary Clinton's first trip. In Kolkata, a long association with somebody we love, miss and admire, Mother Teresa. Your first visit here in a little bit of tragic circumstances at the funeral and the tribute to Mother Teresa. That was 1997 when you were here first on a happier occasion. Today, of course, in 2012. A long relationship across political dispensations. That's Prime Minister Vajpayee at the White House, Sonia Gandhi, whom you've known over the years, different moments. That's a great photograph. I love that photograph. Leader of the opposition, Sushma Swaraj. You've made friends across different political parties. You like shaking a leg, don't you? You make it a point to do that on every trip. But here's the thing. As you say namaste and say goodbye to us, there's one thing you always say. Every Indian meal that's coming up leaves you on a diet of carrots and celery for the next many weeks.
That's very true.
So that was a flashback, but I've got to ask you, because we're hoping you managed to tuck into a hearty Indian meal, how many carrots and celery coming up in the next few weeks?
Well, I leave here and I go to Delhi, so by the time I get home, I think it'll probably be at least a week of celery and carrots, don't you think? And we, my husband and I, have just such a great personal affection for India, maybe because we're a little argumentative ourselves from time to time, but also the extraordinary dynamism and just the thrill of being in the country. Now, you know, it's a little difficult actually getting out and around as a First Lady or as a Secretary of State, but we've really tried to break through the official boundaries. So yesterday, for example, I met with these extraordinary young women who've been rescued from the sex trade and who are being worked with by a variety of organizations here in West Bengal. And just to have a chance to hear the stories and talk to them about their lives helps to put the work that I do on the official level into a broader perspective, because for me, it's really about whether or not at the end of the day, those of us in these positions have made life better for people or not. Certainly we can have a great experience personally, traveling and visiting and meeting people, but that's not why I do this work. And I think most people who care about their own country or even more broadly global possibilities knows that there's a lot of anxiety and insecurity about what direction the world is going in many places, and uncertainty about what the economy is going to be like. And so I think we have an obligation to do as much as we can in the time we have to serve.
Now, you've made it a point, and I think those pictures told their own story, to step out of the formality of protocol, to meet all sorts of different people, to go to all sorts of different parts of India. But I know a lot of people have been asking me, why Kolkata? Why Kolkata before Delhi?
Well, because I was in Chennai
the
last time I was here. That's where the dancing pictures were, this amazing experience we had there. And coming from China to Bangladesh, it seemed very appropriate to stop right here in Calcutta. The economic potential of East India is so great, but also the geopolitical significance of this part of India is increasingly recognized. When you think about the potential for greater trade and economic integration going east, the markets that would be opened for West Bengal by greater trade with not only Bangladesh, but on to Burma, dealing with the issues of water and energy that affect the entire region. All of this, to me, is significant, and the United States wants to be a partner with the entire country, and therefore coming here, meeting people, having this opportunity, seeing the Chief Minister is a way of demonstrating our commitment to that future.
Do you have the NDTV Profit app? All the markets, all the news and your own homemade, ready-made portfolio available there for you.
We will right now answer what you should sell, what you should buy when markets are down.
Download at ndtvprofit.com/apps. Get the best app from the channel you trust.